The classified as an article denoting one or more people or things already mentioned or assumed to be common knowledge. Resting, classified as a verb. Cease work or movement in order to relax, refresh oneself, or recover strength. Place, classified as a noun. A particle, position, or point in space. Who you are, what you are doing, and where you are going is a destination. A feel, a reality, looks different, feels different, and is different to everyone. But we all got to get through in order to get to. Welcome to the Resting Place podcast.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good wherever you are. I'm Danielle,
I'm Teresa.
and this is the Resting Place. And we're happy to be here. This is years in the making, actually. My wife wanted to do this years ago when we were still doing Facebook Live. And we were doing podcasts back when she wanted to do it. We probably would have been paid. But
Mm.
my husband, I don't listen. Y'all know we don't listen. So y'all say we don't listen. We listen. But yeah, we're here. And we thank everybody for consistently and constantly asking, when are y'all going to do a broadcast? When are y'all going to do a broadcast? When are y'all going to do this? When are y'all going to do that? So here we are, and we're doing it. And
Here we are.
I think tonight, because we had shot a pilot episode that's still editing, by the way, but we just got ahead of the game. And I think tonight we're going to talk about something that means a lot to me and my wife, and it's called milestones. And I got that actually while we were walking with our mom. You know, milestones are a big thing. And Teresa, I'm gonna ask you to read the definition of milestone. And the beautiful thing about a milestone, once she reads the definition, is you will automatically get it. Now, the difference with this is when we first started these Facebook Lives, Danielle did a lot of talking. Teresa did a lot of setting. Then she would speak, and then she would be her wise old owl self. Teresa talks now, y'all. And she'll talk a hole in your head if you let her. So anyway, it's always taking her a long time to get the definition of milestone around here.
Not holy heat. Really?
Yeah, hole in your head. Yeah, right.
Okay. Let's see what Merriam-Webster says.
I don't know them people.
Significant point in development.
Anybody got a milestone coming up anytime soon?
That's what we're talking about.
Does anybody in this room got a milestone coming up anytime soon?
I think that's me.
Oh my God. What is your milestone, Teresa?
I think that's me.
And what is your milestone, man?
I'll be turning the big 5. Oh,
Lord willing, in the creek don't rise.
yes.
Should be turning 50. I turned 50 once. It just went on by like nothing. Women turn 50. It's a whole month. It's a whole extravaganza.
It's a whole ordeal.
It's a whole ordeal.
Yes. It's a thing, you know?
That's the thing with milestones. You know, my milestone is in July. I'll be substance use free for 30 years, and
That's awesome, babe.
yeah,
Awesome.
that's my milestone moment. My milestone moment is Danielle had, Lord, will I be able to see July 25th? It'll be 30 years since I was high or drunk off anything. And I thank God for that.
Amen.
I really do. I thank God for that. I thank God for my wife being 50.
So, you want to talk about milestones? What about milestones?
The basic thing I wanted to just mention is this is crazy because when we were doing these, one thing about when we were doing the Facebook Live, it just seemed so easy. And even though we're basically doing the same thing, Now it seems so difficult, but it isn't. The milestone moment is we're about to approach something new. And the newness that we're about to approach is a milestone moment in development because for quite some time, my wife and I have been building platforms, we've been building businesses, and to see these things come to fruition, it is just amazing. You know, the reason while I was walking and milestones just hit was like I can remember when they said I wouldn't live to see 18 and then live to see 21, and then if I made it to 30, I'd be lucky. And now I'm about to be 52 Lord will. And I just thank God that man can't determine the outcome of anyone else's life because they're not the author and finisher. And I really believe, especially with my wife, see, I've learned so much, right? These last couple of weeks. Here we go. I learned so much these last couple of weeks, and about my wife. And, she's lived a lot of different lives. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I've learned is just how patient of a person that she is. And that don't come easy. With me, I'm just like, man, let's just go do it. My wife is like, baby, let's breathe for a minute. And it makes me think about, you know, King David and how he had the anointing to be king, but it wasn't his time to be king. And all the things that he had to go through in order to be king. Saul trying to kill him. Um, then he becomes king, and one of his sons assaults his daughter, and then now his other son's trying to kill him. And when you're reaching a milestone, or when you're at that moment where you're about to go to a place in life, an inflection point that you've never been before, sometimes it's good to look back and see the trajectory of how you got there. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
let me look at my wife for a minute, and not just keep looking at the camera. Yeah, because I just have to. Yeah, that's nice. Hey, let me just look at you for a minute. But it's just nice to see that step by step, nothing destroyed you, and step by step, things build you up. When you celebrate a milestone, it's because you reached the destination. You know, she's about to be 50. That's a destination. I am coming up on something that's a destination, and it's beautiful, but it's beautiful thorns. It's beautiful busted rocks. It's beautiful pipes that's burst. It's a lot of beauty that was masked in trial and tribulation and things like that, man, that I can't even put a word to sometimes. And when I think milestone, I think of the journey that it took to get there. You know?
Well, I think that's what a milestone basically is. It is the journey, and then once you get there, you get to reflect on how you got there, what it took to get there. You reflect on all the good and the challenging moments to get there. Like for me, for instance, I'm will be 50 in a few days, and
No.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
she is.
excited about it, and like the new. What
Mm,
is 50 gonna bring?
yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I'm crossing over into a new, I don't know, what do you want to say, a new era, a new
Mm,
space of
mm,
life. Like, behind me is the 40s, the 30s, the 20s, my teenage years. And in each moment, each of those moments, each of those times in my life, there was some growth. But I think for me, I can see the biggest growth in my 40s, probably. And because in the 20s and the 30s, I was still trying to figure things out, kind of, sort of. Yeah, still trying to figure things out. But when I got into my 40s, like, okay, got to be on a straighter path and knowing what I want and careers and what I want out of life and just think about all those things. And so we settled down. You know, not everybody gets married. When I did, I ended up getting married, and
And did this guy.
and I think that kind of just brings things into perspective. So now I'm married. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a coworker. I'm a surgery support assistant. I'm all these things, these titles. I'm a worship leader. You know, you got all these things that you become over time. But then, yeah, and then you think, what does that all mean? So who am I? Who I really? Who am I really? You know.
Wow.
And so I think that for me, I will be getting to rediscover her, rediscover who she really is.
I like it.
Because now I'm in a place, in a space in my life where I'm not so much concerned about people and their opinions and their thoughts, because that kind of shapes you for a while when you concern yourself about what people think, how they view you, how they see you. And some people get to that place of confidence and boldness and all that before their 50s. Or maybe they come to a different level of confidence and boldness. For me, yeah, come to that place of just really having confidence in who I am and not really caring or concerning myself about what anybody else thinks about me, because I'm simply T.
I
No.
know that's right. I ain't mad at you at all.
So yeah, so I'm excited.
That was my
If
question.
I if
So
I didn't say that before, I'm excited. I'm excited about life after 50. I am, and I'm looking forward to what it will bring for me. I look to continue to grow, because you should never stop growing. There's always something to learn. It's always newness, and life is always evolving. And so I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to more accomplishments for myself, and just continue to have fun in life, successes, celebrating, um, still going through challenging moments, because that's part of life, right? Those are the things that help to shape and mold you as well, the challenges of life.
yeah, now I like it.
Because if you don't have any challenges, then how do you really know how strong you really are,
I like it.
and how strong your faith is, in the Lord and Him doing what He wants to do in your life? How do you know that He is a strong tower if you don't lean on Him, right?
I like it.
He'll hold you up. He'll give you the strength that you need. Like, so how do I know these things about what He's put inside of me unless I go through some challenges, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's yeah. I think that's it. I'm excited. I am. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, guys. I am.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Um, one of the things that, while she was talking, I was gonna ask her, so, how do you manage all those emotions? When I was about to turn 50, I looked at it a little different. To me, it was almost, I felt kind of, trying to find the right word that can scope or grab exactly what I'm saying. It was almost like when somebody, it was almost bereavement for me.
Mm,
Yeah, it was like I was burying so much because I just started to live life in my late 30s. You understand what I'm saying? I think institutionalization has a way of not only challenging your confidence level, but also challenging the core of what life really is. Because so often than not, institutionalization makes you create a false reality, a false realm in your mind. And that's the only way you can survive. So, having to um, gauge the fact that, hey, I'm about to turn 50, and then looking back, my experiences were not like, what in the world? My experiences are not like the most of the
excuse,
people.
excuse our sound effects.
Yeah, well, a little cancellation in there, it's gonna work. So yeah, I was really, 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 really sad.
When you turn 50?
Yes. And
Hmm.
well, she's saying, she knew it. She can act like she didn't, but leading up to those days, she kept saying, "Babe, you okay? Babe, you all right? Babe, 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 babe." And I was like, "Leave babe alone." You know, babe was not okay. But that's who she is. She knew babe wasn't okay because I was like, I'm 50. What have I really accomplished? And then God revealed to me that this sorrowful pity party that you're having is of the enemy.
That's right.
Because boy, you done more with these 13 years on this side of the fence than people who never went to prison, never went to jail, never was involved in drugs in their life. And that kind of put perspective on where I was to travel and where I was to go. When my wife was talking and she was listing all the things that she is, I never, I'm one of those folks who never stop to smell the roses. You know, maybe I should more often. I just don't. You know, I have survivor's remorse. I'm not even gonna lie. I have survivor's remorse. We're gonna do a pod on survivor's remorse because more people have it than you would think. And I kind of felt like I was working hard for things, but I shouldn't have. One of my greatest strengths, and I thank God for it, is my capacity to love people. One of my greatest weaknesses is my capacity to love myself all the time. And you know, I have to understand that there's a balance. I can't overlove other people and underlove myself. It's like love bombing. It's almost like trauma bombing somebody. And I've learned to just pull back because my milestone is not just being free from substance use. It's like the last time that I committed an incarceratable offense is the same day because the day I walked in the county jail, which would eventually be prison, was the last day that that I was a felon as well. And the process to get to a point where you have completely shifted and you watch your life transform in front of your face, but you're still saying to yourself, do I deserve this transformation? Especially for a man. It's like you know, the term that men use is soft. The term that God uses is love. Isn't it amazing what the world deems as being vulnerable, God deems as being loving. And that's a dichotomy that I fight with daily. I fight with the being vulnerable, being open, being used by God for men, and also a quiet rage. And I laugh and joke the other day, and I told my aunt, and then I told my sister as well. I said, one of the biggest um, mirrors that I've had in my life was watching Avengers and watching the Incredible Hulk. Because my biggest secret is I'm always angry. And that sounds funny because you would be like, what? But for real, there's a rage from the old man that always exists. And that's why God chooses to implore me with love. He's poured so much love in me to overcome any anger, any rage, any thoughts of anything, because the enemy thought that he could destroy me with anger, and God restored me with love. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm coming up on. I'm coming up on something that is going to be paramount for me and my wife. And, as we talk about milestones, you know, we're also coming up on our 12th wedding anniversary. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a milestone because every year that you know, I'm married is a milestone to me,
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
you know,
Especially with the way that marriages are viewed today.
mm,
You know, shoot, if you make it 5 years, that's a milestone because you've done something. Because a lot of marriages don't make it that far. You know, and so yeah, like you said, every year that we are still holding on to one another, and God is the center of all
every
of
year we
that.
hold on to one another. Let me hold on. Oh, my fault. We okay.
And the center, God is the center of that.
We
Then,
hold on to you, girl.
it's to be celebrated. It's to be honored. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
we super straight with that. The one thing I think about our marriage, man, is we live our marriage on Front Street at the behest of my wife, because if it was her choice,
We not really on French
y'all
Street.
would never see us. You know what I
We
mean?
not really on French Street. I don't
Man,
think.
listen.
I think we might be on the
Oh,
shoulder.
man, well, we are clearly not on those shoulders. We are clearly people see us. You know,
Yes,
like I said, at the behest of we got so much space between
they
us.
see us on the
At the behest
shoulder.
of my wife, because she don't want us be seen a whole lot. Man, y'all, now I will say this: my wife would have made the greatest private investigator in the world. You know what I mean? Not because she the Perry Mason, but because you wouldn't even know you was under investigation. By the time you found, let me get close to this woman. By the time you found out that it was, she would hit you with the Columbo, as I learned, like one more thing, and then you going down. You going straight down. She with the Spencer for high, Spencer. You already know what's over with. And yeah, so if we were on, if you saw us as much as, but that is a beautiful thing. My wife understands that some things are for us in our marriage, and also, the enemy will use that very thing that we celebrate against us.
Yeah.
He's great at it.
Mm-hmm.
He is great at it, and that's pretty much my thought process with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, just thinking about the word milestone. What milestones are you coming up on? How can we, celebrate you and lift, encourage you to keep going, keep striving, keep moving, keep
Keep
fighting,
striving, keep
you
shining.
know,
No, you can always count on me. That was my fault.
because we're all, moving towards something, or we should be, you know. This life is meant to be enjoyed,
Yeah, it is.
so you got to enjoy it and celebrate the small things. Yeah, it don't have to be big.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Celebrate the small things.
That is good stuff.
So, in the comments, in the comments, let us know what your milestones are. What are you celebrating? What are you coming up on this year that you want to celebrate? How can we celebrate, help you celebrate you?
Mm. How can we help you celebrate you?
Mm-hmm.
That is something. We will make sure we put that in the description. How can we help you celebrate you? And and coming up, my wife and I, we sat down and strategized this thing. So we'll be coming at you from different viewpoints and perspectives than we did. We've had quite a maturation period since we did the Facebook Live. So, we're gonna tackle some comfortable things and some uncomfortable things. And in the upcoming weeks, we'll tell you ahead of time, where we're coming from. But yeah, we're gonna tackle some issues, some situations, and inside the church, outside the church, just in life. So often than not, people ascertain church folk to just being church folk like we don't live life for real, or like we don't come in contact with people who are living all kinds of different livelihoods and having all different kind of experiences that you or I may not have, or we may have had them, or people may have them and you don't know they had them because they don't talk about them. 2026 for us is about just peeling off layers. Whether it be like milestones, whether it be um, how do you restore your marriage from a broken point, whether it be your children running them up, or how do you deal with um, failed parenting. We're gonna have guests too as well, and the main idea of the story is to just to be able to have a safe space for people. That's our objective. Well, that's my objective. What's your objective, T. David? Because I don't want to talk for her, man. She can talk.
My objective is, yeah, having a safe place for
Oh
people
man,
to
you
come
don't get
and
my objective.
and um, to share, learn from one another. You know, don't be a gatekeeper.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's something else I put in
let's
there. Don't be a gatekeeper.
let's we got something we can share with somebody else. You got something you can share with us or others. We're all here living this life. Let's help each other out. Let's grow together, be better together. Yeah. Mhm. So yeah.
So other than that, man, my name's Don Yale. They call me Tinker.
And I'm Teresa, or they call me T,
And this is
the resting place.